Welcome to the Alpha Gal Outdoorsman Podcast, where we talk all things Alpha Gal and all things outdoors. Everything from hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, canoeing, kayaking, jeeping, off-roading, even gardening. I'm your host, Robert Worley. Hey y'all, welcome back to the fourth episode of Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Um, today is kind of a good day, an interesting day for me because it's we're talking to somebody that going to talk about things outdoors that really I don't know much about. So I'm going to get educated just like everybody else is today. Um, but first off, before we get going here, um, I started a Facebook page for Alpha Gal Outdoorsman so that each guest has got pictures and stuff like that to share. So I went ahead and started that today. So with Will being on here next, he sent me a bunch of pictures. The ones that he lets me share, we'll put on there. So as you're listening to the podcast, you can kind of scroll through and look at the pictures. So the it's Alpha Gal Outdoorsman, and that's on the Facebooks. So without any further ado, Will, thank you very much for coming on today. Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm 38 years old. I've been climbing. That's my main passion. Um, I've been climbing since about 2006, and it kind of doesn't. It feels like whatever else I get into in the outdoors, because primarily everything I do is outside. I'm just like you. Like I just love being outside. I always find my way back into climbing. I've been climbing since about 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you started at West Virginia at Ace.
Yep, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah. I don't remember what year it was, but I shot the gully and I went through Ace when
Yeah.
have you ever shot the gully by any chance?
Yeah, I've been down the Upper Gully during full release. I used to go down every year. That was like
Yeah,
actually one of the things I got into. I got into whitewater paddling. I never paddled the Upper Gully.
yeah.
I've been down
Will,
there
you're
with
cutting
Ace.
out. You're cutting out. I'm not sure what's happening, but you're cutting out. Um, Try
Uh,
me again. Talk
hmm.
again.
Yeah, can you hear me?
There you are. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
So, the gully, yeah, I shot the gully. I can't remember. I actually, so I've been married to Nick for 16 years. I think this will be 17. And we did
Mhm.
it on our honeymoon, and it was in August. And we were supposed to be going down and go in Duckies because the river is really low in August, right? But it
Right.
rained for 2 weeks leading up to it, and it was the high water. The river was actually closed on Monday because it was too high. They opened it at 5 a.m. Tuesday morning, and we was dropping in at 6, and it was pretty incredible for sure. So,
So
um,
you got lucky.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and
Yeah,
the guys was going crazy. They was like, we never
I
get
bet.
water like this in August. They was
Mm-mm.
taking the
No.
bus ride going to the put in. They was hanging out the windows, and they was just me and my wife sitting there like, holy cow, what have we gotten into?
Oh,
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah,
Yeah, we
super
we drive
exciting.
down. Yeah, we drive down for fall release, and it's cold. It's not. We don't get to August, so there's steam
Right?
coming off the water.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a ride.
yeah.
It's a ride.
He put us in. We went in the box. So after you go over Sweet Falls, our
Okay.
guide put us in the box, and we got wet. And it was like my wife was almost a legend because the raft went in and went straight up in the air. We was in the front, and she was kind of leaning over the top. She almost was able to step off on the rock. And she didn't
Oh
know if
wow.
she should or not. And the guide was like, if you'd have done that, you would have been a legend forever. And she didn't, she's very athletic. She would have she's like, I could have popped right up. I knew I could have. Um, but
Right.
she didn't. And the transition from being straight up in the air like that to 4 feet underwater, I don't even remember that. It was so fast. Um, but anyway, Will, let's get into some alpha gal. So you you know pretty close when you was exposed to the ticks, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So May, you say?
Yeah, May. We were climbing down in Batesville, Kentucky, at a place called Cathedral de Maine. and
Yeah.
it's a small church camp, but they had started some climbing on the premises. So we were like, hey, why not? Let's go check it out. So we drove our van down and climbed for a weekend. My brother, my mom, everybody comes down to go climbing night. It's a big, nice camping area. And one day we were walking back, and yeah, I must have just stepped in a tick nest, and I didn't find him until I got home that night. I was sitting in bed, and I just felt like my skin crawling on my legs, and I turn on the light, and I go into the bathroom, and I look down, and there's just hundreds of red dots all over my body, my legs,
Wow.
groin area, armpits, everywhere you could think. I mean, it was just a nightmare, honestly. Because
Wow.
before that, I was just afraid of ticks. I did not like them. I thought if I felt them crawling on me, I did the whole tick check every 5 minutes after climbing, after belaying, and
Yeah.
but yeah, after that, I know at that point that's when because I really thought about it. I went back through my dates and I looked and I was like, I pinpointed that exact moment
Yeah.
when I had all those seed ticks on me when I got infected.
And but you didn't have a reaction for a few. It was, I mean, for me it was like 30 days I had my first reaction, but for you it
Really,
looks like it was 4 or 5 months. Um,
it was, yeah. And my reaction, it's not like yours. Like I don't get like my lips don't swell or anything like that. I it ranges from upset stomach to full on anaphylactic. So um, I was eating meat, and sometimes I would have an upset stomach. I would just have a really bad stomach ache to the point where I'm on the bathroom floor, just in pain. And then yeah, I didn't have my first reaction until a few months later. After eating at Skybridge Station that burger, and
I
that's
miss
what
them
started.
burgers.
Oh, me too. You
I
know,
miss it.
I
Yeah.
I always confuse them because I always get a veggie burger. They got a burger, bacon, chicken, and I always get the veggie burger without bacon with the chicken. And they're always like, the cook always comes out and he goes, "Do you still want the chicken?"
Okay, hold on
Yep.
1 second here. So I I always when I get to Skybridge, I get the grazer. Um,
hmm
I didn't know they had a veggie burger at
hmm
Skybridge. They do.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Is it even on the menu?
I don't think so. I think it's like a little.
And you're cutting out again, Will.
See,
There you are.
yeah, I'm not sure what's causing that.
Okay. Well, it seems like when you lean back a little bit, you kind of cut out a little bit. So
Gotcha.
maybe that might be. Yeah, I'm actually in the gorge now. We drove down today. I got some work to do down here, and we'll probably have Skybridge tomorrow night. So I'll be
Nice.
having the veggie burger. Yeah, tomorrow night. Um, so the doctors. Let's talk a little about your doctors. Um, because you live, where do you live exactly? I know you climb in the gorge and you and get Beattyville and stuff, but where actually do you live at?
Independence, Kentucky. So
Which
it's
is
about a half an hour south of Cincinnati.
okay. So you're not too. I'm an hour north of Cincinnati.
Okay.
So you're up close to us. What was the doctors like when you started having these reactions? What was the doctors like? I mean, you've told me a little bit about it, but getting diagnosed and trying to talk to a doctor, explaining what was happening, maybe touch on that a little bit for us.
Yeah, I knew something was going on after my first reaction, so I started keeping a food journal, and I'm like, there has to be something causing these reactions, and I have to figure it out. So I got an app on my phone. I started tracking all the food that I eat, and the only thing I found in common was meat, red meat, and I had a small family doctor. He was actually one of the most last independent doctors out, and that wasn't connected to the big hospitals. And I went to him and I said, "Hey, I think I'm allergic to meat." And he laughed at me. He's like,
Yeah.
buddy, I've been pulling ticks off me my entire life. He's like, I've pulled hundreds of ticks off me ever since I was a little boy, all the way up until last week. He's like, I've never heard of such a thing. He's like, you're not allergic to meat. You're allergic to something. So you got to
But it's
figure that out. But
but it's
you,
not meat, he says.
but
Yeah.
it's not meat. He's like, you need to go see an allergist. And I was like, okay. So that
Well,
started
that
that
was
journey.
probably the best advice he could have gave you right there for sure was go see an allergist. Now, when you
Yeah.
got to the allergist, did they give you the what's it called IEG test, or did they
Yes.
start with the skin? They did. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So when you went in and told them, "Hey, I think I got AGS," they just immediately went to the blood test, huh?
Yep. And he was actually a little excited. He was like, "You're going to be my first. If you are allergic to meat, you're going to be my first patient that I've ever seen with this." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Well, I usually get all the rare things. All the rare diseases happen to me, so I'm like, I'm probably going to be your first."
yeah. We can laugh about it now. Where I'm not laughing, I'm laughing with you, not at you. So,
Yeah.
but what surprises me? That's only been in 2019. Is that right?
Yeah. That was just 2019.
I bet if you talk, do you still see that allergist?
Every year.
Do you? So I
Mhm.
bet he's got a lot more patients than just you now.
A lot more. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
told me, I mean, obviously he can't give me the specifics, but he's told me he's had quite a few more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure. It's amazing to me coming down here and crossing the Ohio River. It is like the minute we cross the Ohio River, I can stop in a restaurant and say I am allergic to red meat, and they're like, "You've been bit by a tick." I'm like, "I have." But up at home where I live,
Hmm.
I tell people that, and it's like I got two heads. They
Yeah.
just they cannot believe that it's actually a thing. Um, and I'll tell you a quick one. I went into my doctor for the very first time, and I self-diagnosed as well. And before the doctor come in, the nurse come in and took the notes and asked. And when I told her what I thought, oh, I'm shaking the table. She laughed, and I didn't laugh. And she goes, "Oh, you're being serious." I'm like, "I'm really serious." So my doctor, fortunately, was an outdoorsman and he had heard of it, so that kind of helped me.
Nice.
He wasn't good at diagnosing it, but he was at least trying to learn for me, which was pretty awesome. So you got diagnosed in 2019 with your allergist. And when you did that kind of help you? Did that kind of help you start learning how to eat? And I mean, you had to. We all have to learn our allergies. So tell
Yeah.
me a little about that. Like after the allergist and after the diagnosis, how much trouble it was learning at that point.
It was a little trouble. I mean, I didn't know what products contained, and like I had no idea because I just ate everything beforehand. I mean, put it on my plate and I'd eat it. I didn't care what was in it or what
Me
how it was
too.
made
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved eating. So but I had to really start paying attention to what I was getting. I cut out all dairy, I cut out butter, I cut out meat, I cut out everything that I knew that was had animal products in it. And I downloaded an app to help scan things to see if there's animal products in it. It's Yuka, but yeah, I just kind of went down that rabbit hole of trying to, you know, do my research and figure out everything that had animal products in it and try to avoid them.
Yeah. Did the so you say the app was called Yuka? Yuba?
Yeah, Yuka,
Yuka.
Yuka. Yeah.
Okay, so I've read a little bit about that one. I downloaded Fig. So
Hmm.
so when you downloaded Yuka, did you put in like alpha gal, or did you put in like did you itemize like meat and dairy and milk and
Yeah, I had to itemize it, so they did not have a specific meat allergy trigger. So I had to put in everything, the
yeah,
parameters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, yeah, that was a lifesaver, Fig, for me.
Big?
Yeah, I'm sure they work the same. It's just you scan your items. Um, do you remember your first grocery shopping trip when you downloaded that app? Do you remember your first grocery shopping trip?
Yeah, but it was more it was these things. It's hard to find things that fit my ear, but it was more.
Yeah, put the other one back in because now you sound like you're a little bit in a tunnel.
Uh, it
There
was
you go. Yep.
more or less my wife and the food scores because it also gives you a score of how good it is, for
Yeah.
you, and
Yeah.
all the preservatives and other things like that. So we spent a lot of time in the store just scanning everything and
Yeah.
figuring out,
Yeah.
A, what didn't have animal products in it, and B, what was good for you, what was healthy.
Right. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
good tortillas.
Right. I remember my first trip was 3 hours, and I walked
Yeah.
up and down each aisle, and it was 3 hours. But that was the beginning of really me learning, learning my allergy, and being able to move forward and eat again. Um, Man, is there anything else you want to throw in on Alpha Gal? Your story a little bit before we move on to the good stuff. I really want to get into a lot about, you've done a lot of cool stuff. But before we do, is there anything Alpha Gal wise you want to throw in there that
Yeah. Don't be afraid to use an EpiPen.
you are my fourth, you are my fourth episode, and the first one was just me, the second was my wife.
Mm-hmm.
The last two, Lori Adams, that'll be coming out here next week, which will be January the 15th. This episode we're on right now will be February the 1st. She says the same thing. Don't be afraid to use the EpiPen. As a matter of fact, let's go over that because you was almost a statistic at one time,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. I came close.
Now fill
I
me in.
came
Tell
very
everybody
close.
about that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was hiking the Appalachian Trail with my mom, my wife, and my dog, and we were in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I had stopped, and my favorite snack for hiking is hard cheese and pepperoni. The two go tos. I throw them in
They
my
do.
backpack.
Yeah.
Yep, I don't have to worry about them. So I sat on a log and ate a snack. I ate about a bag of pepperoni and some cheese, and started hiking again. We were I'd say, about 2 miles from our next stop, and I started. It starts in my inside of my thighs. I don't know where yours starts, but it's like right on the inside of my thighs, and it was like somebody was taking a blowtorch to me, and it moved from my thighs to my abdomen, down to my arms, to my neck. Um, and I knew something was wrong. I didn't have a reaction like this. I had hives before, but they were just like kind of small, localized on my abdomen. And so I started walking faster and faster and faster and faster, until I got to our stop. And by that time, I was woozy, I was loopy, and I remember walking in, and I grabbed a Powerade out of the cooler, took a couple sips out of it, and I looked at the lady behind the cash register and said, "Hey, I need to take a shower." I didn't know what was going on. I thought I had like pollen on me, or I was having some sort of reaction to something I got on me. So I was like, "I need to take a shower." So she told me where the showers were, and I don't. To this day, I don't. I put the Powerade down and I walked straight to the shower because I couldn't even think. I was so out of it at this point, and I got to the shower, and I turned it on as cold as I could, and the next thing I knew, I was woke up, stark naked on the bathroom floor with my wife, my mom over top of me, and I was drifting in and out of consciousness. So they wrangled some underwear on me. That was my number one concern. I don't know why, but they got some underwear on me and carried me out to the car, and we just started driving. And I was drifting in and out of consciousness. I was coming to, I was going out of it, and I just remember my dad, because he was there as well, but he was doing like shuttling
Sure. Yeah.
for us, and I just remember looking at him, and I don't know what it. I mean, if it was God or what, something told me to get off the highway, and I
Yeah.
looked at my dad and I said, "Pull off the highway." I said, "Pull off the highway now," and he pulled off the highway, and there was a gas station right off the exit, and you couldn't even see it from the highway, so it's not like I saw it. Um, and we got off the highway, we pulled into the gas station, and there was a paramedic sitting there gassing up his squad car. And I don't,
Man,
yeah, talk about luck.
talk about luck. Now, I just want to, if you did, but you had an EpiPen with you during this. You had an EpiPen,
I
right?
did, I
And
did, but I was afraid to use it.
you just didn't know it was time, or
I didn't know it was time.
yeah,
I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know like I knew how it worked, orange
sure,
to the thigh, blue to the sky.
yeah,
Um, so I knew how it worked. I 100% should have done it.
yeah.
But I didn't. And yeah, my dad ran out of the van. He ran over to the paramedics. They came over and they said, "You got an EpiPen?" And he said, "Yes." He goes, "Why the heck didn't you use it already?"
Yeah,
And he just
yeah.
pulled up my thigh and he stuck me right in the thigh. And the next thing I knew, I woke up in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Did the EpiPen, how long did it take to take effect?
It was about a half an hour, they said. They
Oh, is it?
said,
Oh, was that right? Yeah.
yeah, they said my blood pressure when they got me in the squad car, my blood pressure was so low he could barely even take, like he couldn't even take my blood pressure.
Holy wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was close. You was close, huh?
Oh, yeah. When I got to the ER doctor came in and he said, if you would have waited 10 minutes, 15 minutes longer, you would have been done. He said, your blood pressure at that point, he goes, if you don't use an EpiPen and your blood pressure drops so low, it won't work. You need the blood pushing throughout your body
Pumping.
in order to pump that epinephrine to your heart
No
throughout
kidding.
your body. Yeah.
Did you just use one jab, or did you use more than one EpiPen?
Just one jab. They jabbed me once. And I don't know if they called ahead. Like I said, I woke up halfway through. So they might have hit me again. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but I got to the hospital and they shot me up with some liquid Benadryl at that point.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
How long did you get to the hospital? About 30 minutes for the EpiPen to start working. Now, I think you
Mm-hmm.
told me before they released you that night, huh?
They did. Yeah. It took like about 4 to 6 hours. They just wanted to observe me and make sure I didn't have any rebound effect. Like, if I still had meat in my system, they didn't really know how it worked either. So they said,
Yeah.
well, if it's still in you, you can have another reaction. Um, so they made sure I had another EpiPen. And yeah, they observed me for about 4 to 6 hours and released me
Wh-
that night.
What state was you in when this happened?
West Virginia, well, Blue Ridge Mountains. So I
Tennessee or
believe
Virginia, West Virginia?
I think that's Pennsylvania. It's up north
Oh, you was
somewhere.
north. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So they was a little familiar with Alpha Gal at the hospital, I'm assuming, huh?
No,
Oh,
it's like yeah, it's like the same reaction I get pretty much everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people know it by the tick
Dang.
disease, but they didn't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
I Yeah, they just classified it as a foodborne allergy.
So, have you had to use the EpiPen since then?
I don't know why this is making me think, but no, I have not. No.
Okay. Yeah. So you're getting your reactions kind of under control now. I mean, by now you've learned you're eating
Mhm.
good. Um, do you still have, I mean, you're still having reactions occasionally with, something slips in on you or anything like that?
No, I have, like I said, it's either, and that's the weird thing about this disease, I'll call it, is that everybody's reactions is so completely
It's so
different. It's
different.
like
Yeah.
everybody's different. So it's either I get a very bad upset stomach, to stomach aches, to anaphylactic. But yes, I've had it under control. But I still get, like, if I eat food that was cooked in butter or fat or a lot of cheese or milk, I get really bad stomach aches, but I
I
don't have
gotcha.
any like severe reactions.
Yeah, I gotcha. So and the reason I ask that is because that's the main reason for this podcast is for
Mhm.
people like you and I that love the outdoors, and new people especially that are getting this. Life ain't over. You just
Right.
got to learn. When you learn your allergy, then you can start improving your life again, which you and I we have done. We still have it. We still have our daily battles, but
Yep.
you and I are still out there living our outdoor life. So, Will, let's get into some cool stuff, man. You are a climber, and I'm reading through your resume right here, and I'm blown away. I'm really blown away. Yosemite. I have hunted out west in several states. I've been to Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, um, but I've never been to Yosemite, and that is on my bucket list. That is on my bucket list. And you've actually climbed El Capitan, right?
Yes, sir.
That's out of sight, man. What route did you climb?
The nose, the standard nose route.
The nose route. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Before we get too far into that, explain to me. So I don't understand pitches like they say 513 or
Mhm.
I don't know the numbers. I just throwed a couple out there. But explain to me the pitches and how to understand them a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. So you have a couple different types of climbing. You have fourth class and fifth class. So fourth class would be like almost like scrambling up a hillside, or like you ever been up Indian staircase?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that would be like fourth class climbing. So just where
Okay.
you're unroped, but there's some risk. And then you get
Yeah.
into fifth class climbing, which starts at 5.5, which is like the easiest. You have
Okay.
easier, like 5.4, 5.5. And then you go up into the harder. So 5.5, 5.6, 5.7. And then you get into like 5.11, 5.12, 5.13, which is
Okay.
pretty hard.
All
So
right.
that number after the five denotes the difficulty. You also have subsections of those groups too. So once you get into like 510, you have A, B, C, D,
Okay.
511, A, B, C, D. So that,
Ah, okay. All right.
yes. So
All
that,
right.
that, that helps break it down a little bit, because you might get on a 510 and it might be an easy 510. So that's at like a 10 minus or a 10A. Or you might get
Okay.
on a 10 and you're like, dang, this thing's almost like an 11. And that's
Yeah.
like a 10D or a 10
Okay.
plus.
All right.
So that's kind of how
Yeah.
the grading scale works.
That's good. I never understood that. So El Capitan, man, how tall is it?
It's tall. It's over three
Yeah.
thousand feet.
So
Yeah.
how long did it take you? Did you spend the night?
Yes, I did. I slept on the
Yeah.
side of the cliff. Yeah, that was wild. Um, so we did it a little unorthodox. So we actually climbed the first like 10 or 15 pitches up to a ledge, and we hauled all our gear up. So um, each pitch is where you have to stop. So you either A, run out of gear, you run out of rope, or there's just, it's broken up into pitches. So you have
Yeah.
typically two bolts there to
Yeah.
stop at. So you'll clip into the bolts, bring your partner up. But we climbed up the first like 10, 15 pitches and stashed all our gear. And then we rappelled down to the ground and slept on the ground for the night. Because we were like,
Okay.
well, we can either sleep on the side of the cliff the first night, or,
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
comfy bed.
I got you.
Because we were, so, and then after that started the climb, and it was something I'll never forget. It not only are you in Yosemite, the most beautiful place on earth, but
Right.
being able to get that perspective where you're hanging off the side of the cliff and looking
Yeah.
down, it's it's unreal. I
It it
mean,
it amazes me, man, and I am intrigued with it so much. I'm too old, too fat, and too all the other things to do it now in my life, but it really, really does intrigue me. Um, so I'm intrigued with El Capitan because I know what it is. I think most people, when you talk about climbing, they can relate to like, the face of Half Dome and Yosemite, El Capitan and stuff. But you got a list, man. You got Utah, Colorado, New Hampshire, Michigan, Tennessee, Puerto Rico, West Virginia, the Gorge, Kentucky, El Porto Chico, Mexico. You got all these on there where you've climbed. You've climbed all over the world.
mhm.
What was your favorite so far?
The trip I just got back from, honestly,
Yeah,
Mexico,
yeah,
unreal.
yeah,
It's the Yosemite of Mexico,
yeah,
and
yeah.
what makes it special too is that it's all sport too. So to throw a little bit more out there, there's a couple different kinds of climbing. You've got sport climbing and traditional climbing. Whereas sport climbing, all you need is quick draw, which is like basically two carabiners affixed by a piece of nylon,
Okay.
and that's your protection. So you have, if you can think of it like a bolt ladder going up the wall, every 10 feet or so, you'll hang a quick draw, you put your rope in it, and you'll continue up. And that's what's supposed to catch you if you
I
fall.
got you. Okay. All right.
And then traditional climbing is where you have cams. So a mechanical device that you place in a crack or a nut, which is like just a piece of aluminum on a wire that you wedge into a crack.
Yeah.
And that's where there's no bolts on the wall. That's what El Cap is. So it's all traditional, pretty much all the way up. So you're not clipping bolts or anything. So you got to carry. There's the amount of gear that you got to carry is just
I
insane.
bet. Yeah.
But Pachero Chico, it's all sport. So you're getting on multi-pitch climbs that are, 4 pitches or 5 or 13 or 11. I mean, you pick whatever you want to get into that day. You can go out and do.
Yeah.
You can do 23 pitches. I mean, that'll take you. That I had one buddy that did it. I wanted to try it this trip, but it was a little much for me and my wife. She just got into multi-pitch sports, so we really didn't want to push it too hard. So
Yeah.
yeah, we stuck to 5 pitches, 6 pitches, somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
when we go back, we're getting on time wave zero, which will be 23 pitches.
Nice. Nice. Well, we'll have to get you back on after that trip. How's that? We'll just focus one
Yeah.
episode on that trip then for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one thing you and I have in common is obviously the Red River Gorge here in Kentucky. I'm here now. The so tell me a little about climbing in the gorge. Do you got a favorite route here in the gorge that you like, or uh,
Yeah, I've been climbing in the gorge since about 2007, when I first broke out of the gym, and that was the first place I went. I went to Roadside Crag and got on some climbs there and just fell in love with it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
actually, everybody I used to climb with back then, I don't climb with anymore. They've all stopped. But as far as the favorite route, there's just so many to choose from. I mean, the Red River Gorge is world class climbing. People
yeah,
come from all over the world to climb
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. And I would say probably Crack Attack ranks up there, Whiteout ranks up there. Those are both trad climbs. And yeah, there's just too many to list. I mean,
I
the
got
gorge
you.
is
Yeah.
just a special place.
Now this is sandstone here in the gorge. Is
Mhm.
that correct? So tell me, from the gorge to like say Yosemite to like Mexico, the is the rock all the same everywhere, or are they all
No,
different? Yeah. So
learning curve.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so the gorge, yes, is sandstone, but it's not only sandstone; it's overhung. So you get a lot of overhung climbing in the gorge. So your forearms, my forearms can take the gorge.
yeah,
Um, Mexico, it was like a hard stone, eh, but very the type of climbing would be called slabby. So you're on your toes a lot. You're not really using your forearms too much,
Okay.
and that took some getting used to.
Yeah.
To Yosemite and Rifle, those are granite. And I'm telling you, some of the climbs out there, it's like take your granite countertop in your kitchen, put it like that, and that's about what it's so
Oh, is that
polished.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, for hundreds of people climbing, thousands of people climbing, it just gets polished and worn out, worn down. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a different type of climbing. Everywhere you go, you just get humbled. That's what I
Yeah.
love about climbing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a favorite? I mean, as far as rock, you got a favorite kind of rock?
Red River Gorge.
Yes, but I knew that was coming. I don't know how I did, but I
Yeah.
did know that was coming. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I love it here, and I don't climb. We're in our little cabin down here now. Um, where I live is if there's a 50-acre patch of timber,
Hmm.
and I kind of live in the country where I live. I live an hour north of Cincinnati. There's no patches of ground that are, I mean, if you got a 50-acre patch, that's huge. But I
Right.
come down here and I can go just east of the gorge a little bit, and I can turkey hunt and whitetail hunt on farms that are 200 acres,
Hmm.
and that's kind of why. Plus, I do love the gorge. My wife and I we hike it. I don't do any climbing. Have done the Indian staircase. Um, I had my daughter almost to the top of Cloud Splitter a couple of years ago, and it got to the crack, and she had sandals on. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where it ended. That's where it ended. Um, it was funny too. We got home that evening and got on Facebook, and just kind of scrolling, and somebody posted a picture on the Gorge page that
Hmm.
on the top of Cloud Splitter was about 20 copperheads just laying up in the sun, just basting in the sun. And that was the day we
Oh
was there. I
man.
was like, having sandals was a good idea that day, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah.
On your climbing, you got ice climbing in like New Hampshire and Michigan on here, and
Hmm.
tell us a little about your ice climbing, career. That intrigues me a little bit, but uh, I like the cold. I'm okay with it, but the older I get, the less I do like it. So,
Yeah. Oh, I hate the cold, but I'll take it for a few things: ice climbing and snowboarding. But yeah, I was traveling up to Munising, Michigan, every other year to go ice climbing up there with some buddies, and fell in love with it the first time I went up there. It just adds a whole nother layer of danger to
yeah.
it. Not only do you have sharp things in your hands, you got crampons on your feet, so you're constantly kicking in. If you're leading, then you're placing ice screws in the ice, so you're placing these screws into the ice that may or may not hold you.
Oh, wow.
So it's a blast. I love it. And yeah, New Hampshire. I led some multi pitch up there. It was a blast. I've only been to New Hampshire once. Michigan, I've been a few times, and Ouray, Colorado, out in Ouray, they have a whole ice park
Is that
every
right?
year. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
up in this small mountain town, they've got an ice park where they have this just huge canyon that they pump all this water up over top the canyon, and it falls down and freezes, and
Is
they
that
create
right?
it's like an ice
Wow.
climbing park. It's a mecca, and I love it. I can't wait to get back there. I first flew out for Ice Fest with my mom and went ice climbing out there. But then on one of my road trips with my wife, we actually drove to Ouray and went ice climbing.
Really?
So yeah.
I love it out there. Now, I haven't been to Ouray or Ouray or however you say it. I haven't been there yet, but I've been to I was elk hunting in down by Four Corners. I think that was Four Corners where we was at that year. And we took a road trip. Me and one guy harvested early in the week, so we took a road trip up to Telluride. And there's a four-wheeler loop, a Jeep loop from Telluride to Ulray to I think Silverton. So I don't
Hmm.
know how. I know the whole loop's 200 miles or something like that.
Oh
And
wow.
man, it's I know that Telluride was beautiful, and they say Ouray is about similar. Just a
Hmm.
mountain town, little town on the top of the mountain. Yeah. Your mountain biking career, these are all your hobbies. I call them careers.
Yeah.
But this is who you are. Like, yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
um, I kind of looked through this a little bit, and some of these, like you got mountain biking and then bike packing.
Hmm.
My son does a lot of this stuff as well. He's run a few marathons. He does, but he does mountain biking as well. But some of this, like these Horn Hills, I mean, some of this is pretty. I don't know if you call it extreme, but I guess for mountain biking, it's pretty extreme. Is it all downhill or is it up and down? How's it go?
Horns Hill is all downhill. So I primarily love lift parks. So where you get taken to the top, dropped off, and you ride down. Those are downhill parks. So those are typically the top of the extreme. Where I mountain bike around here at Devu Park in Covington, that's a lot of uphill. So you got to go up to go down. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the type of bike that I ride, it's a little difficult. So I ride a high travel, like a big suspension bike. So pedaling around here is a little hard unless I'm on my e-bike. So I tend to
sure,
love going to lift parks. So snowshoe, up the Horns Hill, yeah, down the Baker's Creek. That's not a lift park, but it's not as bad as the other places. But yeah, I like on the mountain biking side, I tend to like the big jumps. Steeper the
yeah,
better. The bigger jumps the better.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of a thrill seeker, obviously. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
obviously. So, what's the difference? You got bike packing is something you do as well. You use the same bike, or is that a different bike?
Oh no, that's a completely different bike. Yeah, that's almost like a road bike and a mountain bike, had a baby. So they the bike actually has all your bags and everything on it.
Yeah,
So when you pack everything onto your bike. So your tent, your food, your water, everything, and you go out for as long as you can stay out.
yeah,
My longest trip was 5 days uh, on a trail called the Wilson Ramble, and man,
yeah,
I did a half Ironman once, and I thought I was in shape. So we scheduled the Wilson Ramble after the Ironman. I was like, all right, we're gonna kick butt. We're gonna do this thing.
yeah,
We're gonna get through it. This is gonna be easy.
yeah.
That thing was harder than the Ironman.
It
Yeah, with
tuned
all
you
that.
up, huh?
Yeah, it
Well, it
tuned
says
me
here
up.
you had 125 miles and 14,000 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
Jeez. Now, let me ask you, what was your highest peak? You said 14,000 feet of elevation over 4.5 days. But did you go to 14,000 feet? No.
No.
Okay. It's
So
just
that's
up.
all
It
the
was this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the elevation gain that you'll get. So
I got you.
you'll through that many miles, you'll gain 14,000 feet of elevation, but you're constantly going up and down and up and down and up and down.
I bet you slept good at night. You
Oh,
know.
I was out.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt
as,
about it. No doubt about
soon
it.
as I got
Yeah.
that food in my belly, I was out.
Yeah. Yeah. No need to build a fire. You're not going to need it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Is that the only one when you is your bike packing trip? Is it you have you done more of them or
Yeah, we've done some around Tennessee and around here, just small ones, but that was like the biggest one that I've taken.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Huh. I pointed this out to my son. My son's he's not a climber,
Hmm.
but he does a lot of these things. Like I said, he ran a marathon. He's been doing these I can't remember what they call them, but it's a little bit like it's a half marathon, but it's an obstacle course.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
he did one at a ski resort here. This was back in the summer. they put barbed wire and dig these pits and stuff as he goes up the hill. And then the snow making machines just spitting water out. So it's just muck and mud. And, um, but I told him about this. I let him look at your list, and the bike packing. I knew it would too. The bike packing was the one thing that really intrigued him the most. So I can tell you you've influenced him. I guarantee you he's doing research
Nice.
on all these right here. Because the one you said was in Ohio, right?
Yeah, well, Horns Hills in Ohio. That's east of Columbus, but that is a downhill lift park.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
had him confused. Had him confused. So snowboarding. You're a snowboarder too, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. You
I
go
got
out west to do that?
Yeah, we've been to we did a big trip. We went to Telluride, Wolf Creek, Powderhorn. We've been out to Mammoth Mountain in California. So yeah, I love traveling for snowboarding. It's
Yeah.
my wife got me into it. Yeah, I got her into climbing and mountain biking. She got me into
Into
snowboarding.
snowboarding.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, it's impressive, dude. Your outside, your outdoor life activity resume, man, here is pretty incredible. Um, I hope that you never slow down. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 55 years old, and I know that some of these hills down in Kentucky here, come turkey season and deer season and stuff like that, they're wearing on me. I'm hanging in there, but they're definitely slowing me down. I had my 74-year-old dad down here last turkey season, busting some of these ridges down here.
Nice.
Um, so I hope the blood makes it another round, so I can be 74 and doing it, you know. So any other hobbies or great adventures um, that you want to throw at us on here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we covered it. I mean, climbing, mountain biking, back bike packing, snowboarding, ice climbing.
Yeah,
Do we leave anything else
I
out?
don't think
Or
so. You got any?
yeah,
What's your next trip? What's your next trip?
we're going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and that's coming up, right?
Yep, 2 weeks.
Cl- Climbing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know it.
Now, you've been there before? Are you going back to a place you've been before?
I am. Yep.
Yeah.
We're going down. The first time I went to Puerto Rico, I actually went down there to relax.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't even know there was climbing. I had been to the Puerto Rico probably 4 or 5 times for work,
Yeah.
going down there, and had no clue that there was climbing down there. Just never even thought to look. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but I had about. Well, it's probably going on what 2 years or a year and a half ago now. I broke my back mountain biking,
Ooh.
and yeah, back. I broke my back, my hip, and smashed my glute. They said it wasn't even tore. They said it lit up like a Christmas tree on the MRI.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was going on a bit. I was just getting over that, getting back to where I was, getting back into the gym, rebuilding some muscle from laying on my butt for so long. And I was in the last MRI that they were taking of my back, and I started looking at climbing down there in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And man, I was just blown away. It's everywhere on the island. I mean,
Is
that's
that right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That and EPC, which is El Portero Chico in Mexico, that is the like second most destination everybody goes in the winter to get some climbing. Yeah,
No kidding. Yeah. So
yeah.
you can't do you camp or you got hostels you stay in, or where do you stay when you go do these?
No, we stay in Airbnbs, so we'll just get an Airbnb in like Ponce,
Yeah.
which is like if you're looking at the island, it's kind of like a rectangle. It's like the southern middle part of the island.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really like the west side of the island. The west side of that island is beyond beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So you're going in 2 weeks. How long are you going to be gone?
just a week.
Just a
We're
week.
going down.
Yeah.
Yep, going down
Is
there
it
with some
enough?
friends.
Is it
No,
enough? No,
no,
I bet not. Yeah.
no. I'm
Yeah.
already scheming to try to get back to Mexico.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So let me throw something at you here, Will. It's been great talking with you, man. I'm learning things. Um, I hope that we can get you back on, later in life, maybe each year or something like that. We'll talk
Yeah,
about this some more.
absolutely.
But I'm going to be asking every guest, and I guess I could have prompted you on this. I don't know, maybe we've talked a couple of times, but I had a lot of when I got alpha gal, I got a lot of alpha gal surprises, and when I call it a
Mhm.
surprise, good or bad. So like Advil liquid gels, I didn't realize the gel was mammal. Aquafina water and Dasani. It's filtered through bone char. It's little things like that. I call them alpha gal surprises.
Mhm.
My alpha gal surprises Twizzlers are vegan, but there's a couple
Oh
factories, so
man.
you got to watch which factory. But do you have anything that stands out in your mind that was a big alpha gal surprise that was just like mind blowing?
A couple beer, same thing. They used some beer. I was drinking some beer and I was fine. I would drink another beer and I would just be completely wrecked. Bad stomach ache, worst hangover in the world. And I found out they use like gelatin to clarify the beers.
Is that
And
right?
yeah, and some
Yeah.
of them use like a um, some of them use like a seaweed derived or something derived, but some of them actually still use like beef, like it's almost like a beef gelatin in order to clarify the beers. But just that, and just learning throughout the journey, like how different everybody's reaction is. It's
Yeah.
just that was
Yeah.
my surprise. It's like reading online and going through Reddit. It's just like it's hard to pinpoint this because everybody just seems to be their body's reacting differently.
Right. Right.
Take the liver enzymes for example. It's just like every time it's just
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That caught me off guard. And you actually text me on that because
Hmm.
you listened to my second podcast, I think. I've
Yep.
never had a fatty liver. I'm 55 years old, and I've had blood work done I don't know how many times in my life. And um yeah, my doctor got on me last summer because it's in the podcast. Doctor got on me because I didn't do the blood work that I was supposed to do. She sent me back. I had, some
Hmm.
enzymes come up. It was a little scare for us. Get to the hospital tomorrow morning. This was a Saturday morning. But then you text me, and I can tell by looking at you, you're very fit. And you
Hmm.
had a fatty liver as well. And you said it lasted about a year.
Yeah, I went in, with the blood test. I got my yearly checkup. It wasn't that long after I was diagnosed with alpha gal, and same thing. They called me back up. They said, "Hey, I think it's the LDL, or
I
some
think it
some
is. I think it
some
is. Yeah.
enzyme was just off the charts. Like I was way elevated, and they're like,
Yeah.
all right, this either has to be fatty liver, hepatitis. I didn't like the list they gave me.
I didn't either. Yeah, I didn't either. Right. Yeah.
Yes,
So, but you said yours went away.
it did. Yeah, it lasted about I want to say about a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I hope that's my case. Now,
same.
I was at a certain weight and got alpha gal and dropped a lot, and
Hmm.
then learned how to eat. And being foolish, I'm back to where I was. And I wouldn't say I'm big. I'm just over 200 pounds. I'm 215 pounds, 212 pounds. But the doctor was like, you got a couple options, diet and exercise and stuff. But I exercise. I don't know that I exercise, but I do physical labor and I am outdoors all the time. So it's diet. I gotta, but she gave me till turkey season. My wife giggles because it's like I don't base my seasons on spring, summer, winter, and fall. It's like it's turkey season, it's deer season, it's elk season. But the doctor gave me till turkey season, which is in April too. And I kind of needed the boost.
Hmm.
But the liver thing it really did. It was a big scare. So I'm glad you brought that back up because that was something I wanted to touch on that I forgot. So, um, anything else before we close out? Anything else here before we close out that you'd like to throw in there, Will?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
Will, it was awesome talking to you. If you know anybody that would be fitting for this podcast, throw them at me. I know, quite a few hunters because that's my thing, um, but I don't know tons of, and I will tell you this, that I posted this on a few pages like the climbing page, and the climbers really did reach out to me. I had several. One of the ladies, her name is Amy, that takes care of my hot tubs at my cabins. She lives in the gorge because she's a climber, and she seen
Oh,
my
nice.
post and sent me some links. So the climbers really reached out. I sent the same thing to like some Jeep clubs. Um, I'd really like to get some overlanders, or maybe even some through hikers. I would love to get somebody like that to come on, and tell us their story. I'm going to have some hunters next week. Next week, so you're going to be February the 1st. My excuse me, my February the 15th podcast guest is going to be a fella that runs a business. It's called Pure Whitetail. He he he's shot trophy deer, and he makes videos about hunting, and he hunts all over the country. He sells whitetail products for hunters and stuff like that, and he's been doing this for I don't know how many years, and then bam, he gets alpha gal. you
Oh
know
man.
it's you know what I mean, so it's like not just who he is, it's also his livelihood. And
Right.
so he's going to be he'll be our next week's guest. So along with that, don't forget that um, if it's okay with you, I'm going to post your pictures um,
Sure.
on the Facebook page, which I just created a couple hours ago. I was going to try to avoid that and just keep it a podcast, but there's just more to tell than just our story. There's pictures that
Mhm.
goes along with it, and your pictures, I looked through them, are incredible. My last week's guest, Lori, just got back from a safari in Africa, and
Oh
she's
man.
got some big game animals that she harvested. And they're good stories to tell, and that's the whole purpose of all this. So, Will, I want to thank you very much for coming on here. I'm going to shut this record button off and then we'll chat for a couple of minutes. But I want to thank you very much for coming on here um, and joining us here on Alpha Gal
Thanks for
Outdoorsman.
tuning in to Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Make sure to hit that follow button. And until we meet again, wear your tick repellent.